If you clicked on this video, then it probably means that you want to become a millionaire. You constantly see other people on social media, especially young guys in their 20s, living the dream lifestyle. Nice cars, expensive dinners, traveling all around the world, meeting lots of new exciting people, having all of this abundance and all of this freedom. They pick their own schedule, they work from wherever they want in the world, and they seem to be having the time of their life. And then you look at your life and you wonder why you don't have this sort of lifestyle yet. I used to be just like that. I used to watch all of these YouTube videos and to see all of those guys online living the sort of life that I could only ever dream of living. But it turns out at only 20 years old, I successfully built a life of freedom and of abundance for myself, where I can travel, have fun, choose my own schedule, and not have to worry about working for a rude boss who clearly doesn't really care about his employees, or having to go to college and get massively in debt in order to get a good degree and then a good job later on and having an okay life. This is why in this video I want to share with you the 7 millionaire habits that completely changed my life. Because the truth is that when I first got started in the world of online business, I wish I had known the things that I am about to share with you today. Have you ever heard that a fool learns from their own mistakes, but the wise person learns from the mistakes of others? This is exactly my goal with this video. I want to help you to set the right foundations in order to succeed and to build the life that you dream of. Because if you have shaky foundations, well, the whole structure that you're going to build on top, it's going to fall apart. The first millionaire habit that changed my life was shifting from pessimism to optimism. Now, what do I mean exactly by shifting from pessimism to optimism? You see, I've always had a natural tendency to lean more on the pessimistic side of things. Being a realist, I've known from the start just how cruel and how unfair the world can prove itself to be. However, there are also many beautiful things that we can experience in life. For instance, traveling, discovering new locations, new places that you've never been to before, or laughing with your friends and having a good time, meeting new interesting people, listening to a beautiful melody for the first time, going out to a nice restaurant, falling in love, accomplishing the things that you truly want to accomplish. So while I've always had a tendency to be a more pessimistic person in general, I also always understood that there are many beautiful things in life that simply make it so worth it. The truth is that no matter who you are, no matter the number in your bank account, no matter whether you're rich or you're poor, we will all have to face difficulties and struggles at key moments in our life. And the thing that really sets successful people apart from the rest of the crowd, and that even allowed them to become successful in the first place, is their completely different way of seeing what we perceive to be failure. Because you see, for somebody who's unsuccessful, failure is fatal and is something that you should avoid at any cost. Unsuccessful people tend to believe that if you fail at something, then it means that you are a failure. They believe it's a reflection of them, while successful people have very different views. Truth is, they don't like to feel rejected, or they don't like to fail more than other people do. They simply keep pushing no matter what, because they know what they want, and they refuse to take no for an answer. If you want to know if you're on the right path to becoming successful and to turning your dreams into a reality, I can tell you that if you are persistent and you never quit until you get what you want, you will end up having everything that you have always desired, and even more than that. Now, another millionaire habit that transformed my life was to put health and fitness first. I always make sure that it stays a priority in my life, no matter my external circumstances. Growing up, I didn't really have that much self-confidence. If anything, it was really the opposite, because I had a lot of internalized self-hatred. So I fell in love with health and fitness because I really wanted to improve myself and to do better. And so I built this ideal version of myself in my head. And of course, this ideal version of me, they exercised regularly. I mean, think about it. Is the ideal version of yourself your best potential self? Are they a couch potato? Not really. It wouldn't make sense for the best possible version of me to be sloppy and to miss workouts and to be undisciplined. I personally don't get why some people choose to not exercise at all, especially when their bodies are fully functional and they don't suffer from any illnesses or any handicaps. And I know that it can be difficult to practice gratitude, especially when your external circumstances are the opposite of what you would want them to be, and when you're still in the grind of working hard to achieve your goals. But I think that sometimes we literally forget to be grateful for basic things that we typically take for granted, like having arms and legs. Like, I know it might sound really stupid when I say it like that, too obvious to be even worth mentioning, but some people lose their arms, they lose their legs, and some people are born without. I mean, it might even be the case for somebody watching this video right now. Millionaires and very successful people make health and fitness a priority in their life because they understand that they can only reap positive benefits from doing so. A study by Tom Corley found that 76% of millionaires exercise at least 30 minutes a day, 4 days per week. So if you're not already following some kind of a workout plan, or if you're not sweating and at least moving your body for 30 minutes a couple times a week, try to get into the habit of being more active. Whether it be doing yoga, going to the gym, boxing, swimming, jogging, or even going for a walk in nature a few times per week, you will only reap benefits from being more active. Not to even mention the fact that it's gonna boost your discipline levels, it's gonna boost your motivation to do anything else. Like, a lot of people seem to forget this, but every area of your life is connected. If you've got good health, good relationships, of course it's gonna be much easier for your business to thrive because you'll be in a good mood and you'll do better work. So as a result, you will make more money. The other millionaire habit that changed my life was to stop thinking about work in terms of how many hours I work in a given day or in a given week, and instead to shift my focus on how many tasks, how many many important tasks I got done during the day. People who love the hustle culture and who fully subscribe to it are gonna tell you that success is all about grinding 24/7, and that taking breaks or having fun outside of work is just for losers and for unsuccessful people, and that if you want to succeed well, you cannot sleep 8 hours a day. And because unfortunately a lot of people subscribe to the hustle culture mentality, they try to force themselves to work as many hours as possible in a given day and in a given week, because their belief is that surely if they work more hours, then they will achieve more and be more productive, right? It would make sense at first. Well, you see, not so fast. The amount of time that you spend on a specific task does not necessarily mean that you are going to be more productive and do better work. It doesn't mean that the quality of your work is going to be significantly higher. I used to religiously track how many hours per day I was working. Like in my Excel file, I would track when I start work and then when I stop work. And my goal was to work as many hours as possible because it made me feel like I was being productive. And in a way, it boosted my ego because it made me feel like I'm outworking other people. Therefore, I must be more deserving of success. But this is not how it works. I thought that by doing this, I would achieve my goals faster. But you see, I couldn't have been more wrong. Although unlike some people, I am not going to claim that you can become a millionaire by working 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week. And in fact, Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, claims to work 14 hours a day in reality. So this is a classic example of the do what I say, but don't do what I do. So I'm not going to sit here and to pretend that you're gonna make millions if you work 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week. However, I would really like to invite you to shift your focus from how many hours per day you are working and to instead focus on how many high return on investment activities you can complete in a given day. For instance, at the end of each workday, I write down what tasks I completed, and it allows me to see immediately if I have just been fooling around or if I've actually been productive and getting stuff done. Now, whether you are working a lot or you are working very intensely, you are going to end up somewhat fatigued at times, which is why the 5th millionaire habit that I wanted to share with you in today's video is to follow a daily meditation practice. I've always had a pretty restless mind, so I always thought that meditation wasn't for me. And whenever I would see some guys on YouTube saying that I needed to meditate, I would just think that it was a waste of time and that I shouldn't do it, or that this type of advice wasn't applicable to me. I mean, why would it be? As it turns out, I was wrong. As soon as I started to implement a meditation practice in my day-to-day life, I clearly noticed that I felt less restless during the day and also a lot less reactive. So whereas before I could have gotten emotionally triggered by something and as a result took a wrong action, with the help of meditation, I learned the art of mindfulness, of being present in the moment. And this is typically something that is very difficult to do for lots of entrepreneurs or people that are very goal-oriented. Because when you're thinking about your goals, when you're working for your goals, typically your goals are something that's in the distant future. So it becomes hard sometimes to be grounded in the present moment. But the truth is that the future is uncertain. I mean, it could never happen. The only moment that we really have, it's the present moment, because the past is gone. And so by becoming more mindful, I would therefore learn to become comfortable feeling uncomfortable feelings. So instead of running away from the slightest negative emotion like I would before, I started to build a lot more mental resiliency. And I found myself being able to feel negative emotions sometimes and still get to work and do the things that I needed to do regardless of how I felt. The reason why meditation is important and why so many successful people and millionaires talk about the benefits of it is because running a business is very stressful. Not everyone can handle that pressure, that's the truth. Having a business comes with dealing with a lot of unexpected problems and unexpected situations. And when you're just starting out in business, the harsh reality is that you will probably not get instant results. And it takes a strong character to go through all of that. I challenge you to start incorporating a meditation practice in your day-to-day life, even if you just start with 5 minutes a day. You will see how much better you feel once you get into the habit of meditating on a regular basis. And trust me, because it comes from someone who thought that they didn't need to meditate. Now let me ask you this question. What do you think is one skill that all successful people, regardless of which industry they work in, must cultivate in order to climb to the top? The 6th millionaire habit that I implemented was to learn the art of relationships, human psychology, and effective communication. In business, communication is like the queen in chess. It is the most powerful element, and without it, you won't really go far. Think about it. If you're in a relationship with someone, but the communication between the two of you is very poor, then that relationship isn't very likely to last a long time, is it? The same concept applies in business. You could have the best product or the best service in the world, but if you communicate your offer poorly, or if no one knows that you exist, then the quality of your products simply won't matter because no one is even aware of their existence. And it's not just about whether or not people know about you or about your company. It's also about communicating the value that you offer in a way that is going to resonate with your ideal customers. The most crucial thing that you really have to understand if you really want to succeed in the world of business is that the only thing that matters is what the market wants. That's it. One of the main reasons why most people who get started in business are going to fail is simply because they try to force products down the market's throat when the market could not care less. Zig Ziglar said, if you give enough people what they want, you will be able to have anything that you've ever wanted. So talking about the importance of communication and of social skills, what about society as a whole? The 7th millionaire habit that completely changed my life was knowing who to listen to and who to ignore. The truth is that if you listen to mainstream advice, that is the source sort of advice that most people are going to give you, that most of society is preaching, you will not achieve extraordinary results. If you really want to obtain the sort of dream life, the sort of freedom of abundance that only 1% of people will ever get to experience, then you must do better than 99% of people. That's just the truth. On average, it takes around 6 months to make a Rolls Royce, while it only takes 21.6 hours to make a Toyota. If you're in your early 20s and even in your early 30s and you are watching this video right now, most of the time you will have to ignore your parents' advice. Typically, your parents want the best for you. They want to keep you safe. They want to prevent you from taking what they consider to be big risks. If you start a business, a lot of people are going to try to discourage you. But like I said, if your goal is to achieve the extraordinary, then you cannot listen to ordinary people, to average people, and follow their advice. If your parents do not have the level of financial abundance that you want to obtain for yourself, then why would you take their financial advice? You would not take weight loss advice from an overweight or an obese personal trainer, would you? And the sad truth is that a lot of people are secretly waiting for your downfall. Life is a war, life is an ongoing competition, and if you are not careful, then someone is going to take your seat. If you made it this far into the video, leave a comment that says millions so that other people wonder what's going on. If you want to start your own online business and obtain financial abundance, I invite you to check out the other free videos on the channel. And with that said, I will see you on the other side.